2 hours after birth, my husband refused to hold our daughter. The next morning changed everything. The delivery room fell silent when my husband took one look at our newborn daughter, stepped backward, and quietly refused to hold her. The tiny baby reached into the air with trembling fingers, searching for the warmth of the father she would never remember meeting. My heart shattered as I watched the nurse gently rock our little girl while the man I had trusted with my life stood frozen near the door, unable to look at her. I had survived hours of painful labor believing this would be the happiest day of our lives, but instead it became the beginning of the darkest night I had ever known. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, forgiveness, and second chances can change lives, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to Kindness Echoes. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind the world compassion still exists. For years, my husband Daniel had dreamed about becoming a father. He painted the nursery with his own hands, assembled every piece of furniture, and spent countless evenings talking to our unborn baby through my growing belly. Every ultrasound made him smile like a little boy waiting for Christmas morning. We imagined bedtime stories, birthday candles, school concerts, and family vacations. Everything seemed perfect until our daughter entered the world with a small birthmark covering one side of her tiny face. It was harmless, the doctors assured us, but the unexpected sight seemed to shake something deep inside Daniel. As I held our daughter against my chest, overwhelmed by love stronger than anything I had ever experienced, Daniel stood several feet away. His face carried fear, confusion, and guilt all at once. The nurses encouraged him to hold his child, but he quietly refused every time. Hours passed, and he barely spoke a single sentence. Every minute felt heavier than the last. I wondered if he no longer loved our daughter, or worse, if he regretted becoming a father. My mind filled with painful questions while exhaustion and heartbreak fought for space inside me. That night became endless. The hospital room echoed with the soft cries of our newborn while rain tapped gently against the window. Daniel eventually left, saying he needed some air. He never returned before midnight. I sat awake alone, staring at our sleeping baby, promising her that no matter what happened, she would always be deeply loved. Tears rolled silently down my face because I feared our family had already fallen apart before it had truly begun. The nurses tried comforting me, reminding me that some fathers struggle emotionally after witnessing childbirth. Still, something felt different. Daniel had not simply been shocked by the delivery. He had looked terrified the moment he saw our daughter's face. I replayed that expression over and over until sunrise, unable to understand what had broken inside the man I loved. Just after dawn, the hospital room door slowly opened. Daniel walked in carrying an old photo album, his eyes swollen from crying through the entire night. He looked like someone who had fought the hardest battle of his life. Without saying much, he placed the album beside me. Inside were childhood photographs of his younger sister, Emily, who had passed away years before I met him. She had been born with the exact same birthmark. As I turned each page, I learned the heartbreaking truth. Emily had spent her childhood being bullied, stared at, and treated differently. Daniel had watched helplessly as people whispered behind her back. When she became seriously ill as a teenager and later passed away, he blamed himself for never protecting her enough. The moment he saw our daughter's face, every painful memory came crashing back. He wasn't rejecting our baby. He was overwhelmed by the fear that history would repeat itself and that his little girl would suffer the same cruel world his sister had faced. Daniel finally walked toward our daughter. His hands trembled as he gently lifted her into his arms for the very first time. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he kissed her forehead again and again. In that single moment, I saw fear transform into determination. He whispered that he would spend every day making sure no one would ever make her feel less beautiful, less worthy, or less loved. He promised to become the father his sister had always deserved but never had the chance to see. Over the following years, Daniel kept every promise. He became our daughter's loudest supporter, attending every school event, comforting her whenever someone asked insensitive questions, and teaching her that true beauty begins with kindness, courage, and confidence. Instead of hiding her birthmark, she grew up embracing it as part of the unique story that made her who she was. The little girl who had once reached toward an absent father became the confident young woman who inspired everyone around her with her compassion and strength. Before we reach the ending, please leave a comment telling us, what would you have done if you were in Daniel's place that unforgettable night? Your thoughts may encourage someone facing a similar struggle today. Years later, as our daughter stood on a graduation stage receiving an award for community service, Daniel sat beside me with tears in his eyes. He squeezed my hand and smiled through the emotion. The darkest night of our lives had become the foundation of our strongest family bond. Sometimes people are not running away from love, they are running from wounds they never healed. And when those wounds are finally faced with honesty and courage, they can become the very reason love grows stronger than ever before. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Kindness Echoes. Every act of support helps keep stories of kindness, healing, and second chances alive for people who need them most.